Well, hello, this is actually going to be a very different sort of toy review video because usually I tend to use the webcam, which is very lackluster and very poor in a sense in terms of the quality. But in this video, I'm going to show you a whole bunch of creatures, well, more like creature toys that I've actually haven't gotten to video. In fact, there's actually quite a lot of models I've made. Some of them have jaw actions, of course, and others, most of the time, tend to have really great and also lavish looking pieces of detail. Especially those guys there that I might talk about later on. And yes, in fact, all of these guys were made during the 2019/2020 coronavirus pandemic. And mind you, I must have just stepped on a pedal bin. Well, okay, let me just start with the top part of the mattress though, which is of course the yellow section of the bed. On this section here, I've got a great crested grebe, I've got a coot, which is about the same sort of design as a great crested grebe, but it's not. Probably it's because for the fact that, you know, the coot is a lot more sort of a very interesting design, whereas this one here looks more of an origami sort of head, the great crested grebe. Tree frog with a very black looking beady eye, in fact a black and yellow combination of course, with green details on its legs and also the body of course. And then an assortment of Australian reptiles. I might go ahead and talk about these later on. But right in front of them is a huge section, in fact, a quadruped section of some creatures that are aquatic creatures. And we've got a crab, we've got a newt, which is supposed to be like a salamander. Now I think this one here looks more like a great crested newt to me. Almost looks like a gecko to me, I would say. And then you've got a Siamese fighting fish, and then I've got a minke whale. And mind you, I need to do a jump cut, otherwise I'm actually feeling like I'm going to sneeze. Well, I'm at the other side of the bedroom here, and because the phone's starting to overheat because of the battery, of course, here are some Australian-themed reptiles, though. This one here is supposed to be a parente or a goanna, maybe a monitor, or it could be a Komodo dragon. And then these four here look so interesting. This one here is a fur-neck lizard. As you can see, it's got some extra detailing at the back there to represent the frills of what a fur lizard looks like. This pokeball-like gecko here is also known as a knob-tailed gecko because if you look at the back part of the tail here, it looks, you know, pretty knobbed. It does look pretty knobbed, but it looks, of course. And the very cool feature about this gecko is that when you hold it up to the light, its eye can be visible indeed. And I think its eye can glow in the dark when you put it up towards the light, though. And this one here, this is a different gecko, which is very similar to the other gecko being a knob-tailed pokeball gecko, but this here is the thick-tailed Australian barking gecko because it's got a thick tail, and in reality, when you touch it, it gets threatened and makes a bit of a barking sound. Not really much more of a dog, but much more of a hissing sort of barking sound. And look at those fantastic yellow spots combined with the brown, purple, and pinkish sort of design. Now, mind you, she's looking good because she's purely a female. This big-looking beastie there, alongside with the monitor lizard, is a thorny devil, and look at those fantastic looking spikes though. I love how intricate the design looks like, and also I love the way it's been detailed to look like a realistic yet semi-realistic sort of thorny devil. Well, with the thorny devil looking like those dragons there that I might talk about later on in this video, of course, on the very bottom part of the side where the mattress is, there's a ferret, which looks sort of cool. I could have designed like a ferret, which makes it so Pokemon-y-ish, if that's a word. And then you've got two insects here. This long one here is an earwig, and then the other one here is a black and red looking ground beetle. I mean, just look how menacing looking this beetle is. It's got red eyes, and it's also got very interesting details on the front though. There's some feelers, and there's also pincers as well. Plus, you've also got some very interesting red legs. There's obviously a trio, a pair of 3 legs, which looks so amazing. In fact, that's what insects have. A pair of 3 legs equals 6 legs. And yes, the earwig has got some very cute expressions here. It looks like it's a bit of a Pokemon-y-ish sort of design because of how strange the eye is. It looks sort of rectangular, but look at these feelers. They look sort of interesting as well. They look so beautiful, those feelers. In fact, you know one thing about earwigs? They've got 14 segments on each feeler, which looks very interesting, I would say. Well, going towards the bottom of the bed here is a mouse at the background which looks so orange and it looks like Pikachu, or the Dene, I would say. And this one here, this purple fella here, is a Rattata, and both of these look like rodents from the Pokemon franchise. This rat here looks so mean looking. I mean, just look at, I don't know what I'm saying, but look at its beautiful looking whiskers, and also look at how menacing looking that red eye. Just looks sort of mean looking, but it looks great, isn't it? That this rat can do, almost said mouse, didn't I? This rat can do more than the mouse, is that it has that feature there, which looks very similar to other animals, and it has this very nice chomping jaw action there. Well, with the phone starting to boil at the moment though, there's a whole bunch, if not an assortment of Australian themed animals. This fat fella here is in fact a fat fella, I would literally say, but it's actually a potoroo. On the other side is a quoll, which is a carnivorous marsupial, and then you've got a dingo, a pademelon, which looks more like an even much more smaller version of a kangaroo, and a much more miniature version of a wallaby, a wombat, and a possum as well, which looks like its face has gone completely, well, let's just say, flipped over into one side. But mind you, both of these marsupials look so cute, as long as the wombat doesn't have cheeks though. Very strange to say, but that's how I can literally describe. Now on to these four here. These are what I would call British themed animals. And yes, we've got a weasel here, which is standing so perfectly, but these three deer have all sorts of trouble standing up. I don't know which deer it is, but that there is a fallow deer. I mean, just look at its spots though. And I think it's a buck. And also just look at these beautiful looking moose-like antlers, even though the legs are very sloppy in the way it stands though. There's, well, it looks like to be a female muntjac. Almost looks like a doe or a fawn. I would literally look at it, of course. And then you've got this red deer stag. Now, this red deer stag had a whole bunch of trouble standing up though, and I've actually stuck the back legs, and I've actually fixed it because, yeah, the back legs were coming off, and mind you, I had to fix it. So that's all I can do now. Just about that. It's not looking perfect, but that's the way it is. Almost looks like that female muntjac is doing some sort of weird ballet contest, or maybe she's slipping on thin ice. A bit like that Bambi movie. So I forgot to show you something here. That little fella here is supposed to be an emu chick, which looks sort of interesting but lonely at the same time. And finally, here is a quadruple assortment of dragons. That one on the background looks like Drogon from Game of Thrones. That one there's got a peacock sort of head and neck sort of design with a tongue at the front, which looks very interesting, but it's also got a colourful sort of backside, and also look at its legs, it looks so pink and so beautiful at the same time. It's even got a little white tip, I'm not sure if you can see that. That dragon there, which is supposed to be, I think these are wyverns, those two-legged fellas. It reminds me of these creatures that you make up from Lego and stuff. I think it's like Lego Creator, I don't know. But anyways, this dragon here looks very nice and red, but also looking regal as well. And you know why I'm actually saying it? It's because this dragon here sort of reminds me of the dragon from Shrek. Looks very, very cool, and it's even got a grey looking face with green eyes. It looks so, so cool, but it's also got a very serpentine-like tail, which is sort of interesting indeed. Well, can you see a difference here? That one there, looking like Drogon from Game of Thrones, hasn't got the same wings as you would expect from these three. But anyways, that's just about it. Well, finally, I've just came back to the spot of where I've just started here. And mind you, if you have a favourite creature for what I've actually just made here, just please tell me. And if you like this video, and as nasty as this sounds, please do like this video and subscribe for more content, you know, for my YouTube channel. And that's one of the biggest obnoxious requests that I've actually been spoken to many people. In fact, you know, it's actually getting a lot more sick and tiring for people to basically persuade people to basically go ahead and just subscribe to people's channels these days. And I think society is now becoming a lot more rougher than what we had in the past. And for what I can work out, I'm actually correct. Maybe it's your own bet to basically tell me which animal do you like. And also, just tell me the reason why. That's the very best thing that I have to say here. Tell me the reason why. Because the reasons are here to basically tell you what you actually like about what type of creature do you really like. You know, the creatures I've made in this video, you know, the ones which are obviously lavishly detailed and whatnot. Just, you know, that's what it is. Just go ahead and please tell me the reasons why, as I said earlier. And please do, because it's very nice to have a very huge society for positivity. Well, as always, I would really like to say thank you very much for watching here. Please stay at home, and please be sure that you have to be very careful outside, because things are now becoming rougher these days, of course. And I'd like to say, God, please save me from this virus. That's the one thing I can say. Anyways, that's just about it in this video. Bye.